bureaucracy and to clean up the fiscal mess on Beacon Hill. In my opinion, it's not your doing. Stevie Wonder can see that. Massachusetts is not alone with the financial downturn. Some states are in worse shape than we are. What is your response to Charles Baker's promises?
Well, I have to allow time for other questions. I have look, Charlie Baker is a fine man. I have known him off and on since college. Not well, but for a long time. He served on my transition team. He has helped with, he's been present on a number of initiatives of ours. I think he is an honorable fellow. A couple things I want to point out. One of the biggest challenges facing us, all of us in this Commonwealth, is the big dig debt. He has his hands all over the management or mismanagement of the big dig debt. You need to know that. One of the biggest challenges we are all facing is escalating healthcare costs. Premiums went up 150% or so while he was CEO of Harvard Pilgrim Health. So I say look at the record. You know, let me be clear. Some people, and he may be one of them, seem to be running against stuff, against people. We are running for something. That's a difference. You can talk all day long about the so-called fiscal mess, but it was policies in the Bush administration in Washington that created the economic disaster that we've been facing. And I will say that Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's, the three Wall Street rating agencies, have reaffirmed the Commonwealth's AA bond rating, which is a high bond rating, specifically citing our effective management through this fiscal crisis. So at least some of the experts differ with the Republican nominee. Now, we'll have some time to talk about differences in policy choices, but let's be clear. You know, we are talking about fixing our broken infrastructure, and he is talking about returning to the pattern of neglect and the big dig management. We are talking about trying to expand healthcare and get the cost of that down. He is talking about walking away from healthcare reform and has been on the record blowing up the president's healthcare reform, which is modeled on what we are doing here in the Commonwealth. We are talking about investing in the public schools, which we have done at the highest level in the history of the Commonwealth, even while the bottom was falling out of everything else. He is talking about gutting that funding. There are some real differences here. And it has everything to do with a difference in the vision about what government is for. And I think that is the kind of debate we ought to be having. It's okay to debate the question, and frankly, it's where we should be. What do we want government to do and not do? And then how are we going to pay for it?
When do we community leaders, law enforcement, churches, and government put our differences aside, roll up our sleeves, and start addressing the murders of our children, our babies, our blood being shed in the streets, and start taking our neighborhoods, children, and leaders back in Western Mass?
What a beautiful and important question. I want to answer that. The question is when. The answer is now. But let me expand on the answer. I'm not satisfied. And I'm not going to be satisfied until we have enough police on the street and enough stability in homes to end youth violence. And I think we can do and we should do what we can in government. But there are things that we must all do by acting like adults. You know, when I hear, and we had some conversation about this earlier at the Latino Chamber, in the context of bullying, which has had such profound impact out here. That poor dear boy here in Springfield, the little girl up in Hadley or South Hadley. I mean, it's hard to imagine someone who's 12 or 16 feeling so hopeless that they might take their own life. And so, of course, I support the anti-bullying legislation. Of course, we should have anti-bullying legislation. And the legislature will send it to me soon. It's passed out of the House and the Senate. They're trying to reconcile the differences. But let's not kid ourselves. It's not legislation alone. It can't be legislation alone. When I was growing up, every child was under the jurisdiction of every single adult on the block. Every single one. And you've heard me tell this story, but if you messed up in front of Ms. Jones, she'd go upside your head as if you were hers and then call home. So you get it 2 times. Those adults were trying to get a point across to us, which is that they had a stake in us. And they expected us to understand the stake that each of us has in each other. You can't legislate that, but you can lead around it. You can lead around it. And all of us who have leadership opportunities are going to have to lead around that.
Governor, says there has been a spate of police brutality against African American residents in Springfield. I feel the mayor's office and police have not been accountable enough to our concerns. My question is, can your office intervene in our situation?
Is that a tip-off on whose question that was? Is that yours? Yeah. Well, look,
Gary Porter.
Thank you for the question. I've spent a lot of my career on issues just like this when I was in private practice. I don't know enough about the issues here in Springfield to be thoughtful in commenting, so I won't. But I will tell you this: if we can be of help to the community and to the mayor and to law enforcement here in Springfield, we're right here, and you should involve us. We want to help. All right? Can you get him a card? Great.
The United Way is considering pulling funding from the Amherst A Better Chance program, asserting that we do not serve our local community. Will you speak out about what local ABC programs bring to communities, and will you help save our program?
Is that you? Well, you know I'm an ABC student, right? That's why you're trying to inject me into this thing, right? Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I don't know what the United Way is thinking about or why. If you think I can be helpful, I will. I'm not going to make a commitment here because I don't know enough about it. And it does sound like it's about one private entity's relationship with another private entity. But you know, ABC was transformative for me. So I will do what I can.
Can you talk a little bit about what the program brings to communities, so how we serve the community as well as the community?
About ABC? You want to do an ABC commercial? Come on up. Don't tell me you don't. You do. Come on up. Come on up. It's all right. You're ready to fight, huh? Jamie Sadiq.
So my question, Governor, is what does programs like A Better Chance do for communities? You know, the community prides itself on supporting our scholars, but they bring something also. And so I'd like you to speak to that, and also to the concern of United Way.
Jamie, I'm not letting you off the hook. You're the one who wants to do the ABC commercial. So does everybody know what ABC is?
I like it up here. Are you all familiar with the A Better Chance program? The governor's ex-scholar. Okay. Well, we're a national organization that serves urban youth. It's called A Better Chance. Thank you, Governor. You're schooling me, huh? And we bring urban and rural youth into communities with more successful school systems and give students a better chance. It is what it says.
So ABC was the program